Hey everybody, Big Toad here. Coming in on the middle of this painting. What I've got going on here is I've got this rocky cliff. What you can't tell is because of the perspective, we're down low looking up into from the valley, and so we can't see the mountains behind it. But it gives the illusion that this is the highest peak and that there's waterfall coming down. That line there's a waterfall. And it's very lush greenery around it. Sheer stone faces in here. I stopped working on this and set it aside for a little while, and I want to come back. I need to work on it some more. I've just barely got the block end done, and then I started in on things, and I didn't like where it was going. And one of my basic opinions is if you don't like where it's going, you don't have a lot of options, but you need to choose one. One is keep doing what you're doing. If you don't like where it's going and you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to get what you started with, only maybe worse and a lot more paint and time. So unless you're using a method you know is going to get you the results you want, which if you're doing that, then you don't want to stop. You want to keep going. Keeping doing what you're doing when you're unhappy is probably not the best option. Stopping and then coming back later is a better option. That's what I did here. I dropped this one and a couple days ago. Haven't been back to it, but I thought I'd go ahead and pick it up again and start where I'm at and maybe share my experience with it. And of course, then stopping. Then the other option is to, if you're not going to stop and you want to keep going and you've decided you're not going to keep doing what you're doing, then you got to do something different. I'm going to do a little bit of both. After thinking about this, I'm going to give my go at taking my time. I'm going to put in a lot of time into this rock face because that rock face is the key to this painting. I know it's centered somewhat, but the waterfall, when I get the waterfall in, that'll be it's not quite centered. It's off the edge a little bit. That'll be the main focal point, that waterfall coming down and hitting. But it needs to be, I want it to be framed by really nice looking rock faces on both sides. Come down, hit the bottom, trickle down the stream, the river that's going to be partially hidden, so you won't see it, and then it'll come over waterfalls, and bam, waterfall. See, waterfall hits, come down, waterfall, and I think it'll be it's a beautiful scene when I get it done. Not that I dislike this. I think I could do better. The strokes. See, I'm using kind of the medium stroke. What I either need to do is go to big, broad strokes that just fill it up quickly and boom, just impact, or I need to go to a lot of color variations within my tones that subtle. So lots of different shades of gray coming in and out, shades of lightened by white coming in and out, some burnt sienna, burnt umber, and yellow ochre mixes coming in and out, and really small and subtle things. So a lot of strokes. And so I'm not looking for the fastest way to do it. I'm looking for what I think would be one of the more creative ways to do it. So I'm going to go with a small stroke method. Realistic is not what I'm after so much as interesting. How does it feel? Right now it feels, I don't know, feels okay. I did have a reference photo that wasn't never exactly. I typically don't do exactly what's in the reference photo. Again, that's realism. I'm after a painting that feels like you want to look at it. I want the painting so you want to look at it. If you don't want to look at it, I failed, no matter how good I think it is. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start putting in little strokes. And what these little strokes are meant to do is give me activity within my rock face without any one single stroke overpowering the others. So the difference, and I'll leave some of those that are already there poking out, but then the difference to what I was doing is that I was counting on the larger strokes to do all the work, and And that's just not always going to happen that way, especially when you're doing these smaller paintings. Larger canvas, I can get, you see here already, I'm creating a rock face texture because no stroke is too large, yet nothing is overpowering it, but yet it's going to come in and start looking like. Um, this also allows me to build up paint, and building up paint uh, is really a big deal. Um, the texture, the ability to move back and forth in front of the photo, in front of the painting, and have it change just ever so slightly by the raised paint edges. That texture brings some life to your image. I want to bring in just a little bit of this. There, see, and now it's not too much of that. All right, so we keep coming down into here. See, there we've got. Let me come in with a little darker now because I want to do want to capture that. See how that looks already. And now I'm creating the illusion of stone because I'm going to these smaller strokes. And you watch particular other videos and you'll see them going to, use the biggest brush you can, which I agree. I'm trying to save this single painting though. And I need to act a little differently here. So let this dark over here. I'm going to tap that in with some nice color, bring in a little bit of that color here. See, I'm not trying to overwork any color, any stroke. Every one of my strokes though has purpose and its meaning. Now I'll go with a little grayer, darker, and bring in some shadow as we get into here. All right. Now I'm going to bring in a little more ivory black to mix in, just to give me a little more depth on this, where I begin to touch in this side pieces. So now I'm going to take that little thicker ivory black, and I think I can, that spot right there can use some. This is why I do like the ivory black, because I can quickly go in and just add a little color without having to go to, just add a little ivory black to what else I'm looking. I think I'm already liking the looks of this better as I go. It's getting what would often be called a more painterly look. More like a painting. See, I want to bring in some of that now. That sulfury look here. A little bit of there, and a little bit of there. Yeah, now I'm bringing just a smidgen of the darker sulfur look. Tap it in there. Yeah, oh, so much better already. And maybe you're thinking, oh, that's not really that much better, Big Toad. Yeah. Okay. Now I want to get in, make sure I got some light right along there. Okay. Okay, come in here. This is a little bit of white with yeah. All right. I'm liking what I'm seeing here now. Just let the color, let the strokes. Now, color is not enough sometimes. I'm backing up now to take a look. See, I don't know. I already like it. I already think it's way better. I wasn't getting very far before. So now I can come down into there I haven't washed my brush yet. I'm going to come over here and put in some darker. I want to, maybe I'll go to work on that other side there. I got some black, and I want to bring in some alizarin crimson into the black. All right, giving a little more purple color to that, but I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of some burnt sienna after. So now I'm going to put some of these purples in here. Don't want to get too far ahead of myself though. Going to go in there with. Now I can leave it in clumps. Oil paint. When in doubt, don't forget you're an oil painter. I'm a bit prejudiced about how I think, but to me, oil painting is about oil painting. And learn to enjoy the texture of it. You can take a painting that was weak. I mean, this compared to this, what looks better? Well, that does. I've applied thicker paint to get to the illusion of rock I was missing before. Again, even though I could come in with a big long line, it's not the feel I'm after. Okay? It's not the illusion that I want. Then I can come in with some lighter gracy, and I can move that paint together and give me that slick, what some might call a mottled look. Mottled, not mottled as in model airplane, but mottled. It's the mixture of those colors on the canvas with the brush that bring some flow and vitality to the painting. I might come in here with something a little lighter now. How's that looking? All right, now I need to get some of that yellow ochre look. Just knock the paint off my brush and start coming down with some of that. And at the same time, I can work on that there. And I can also come in with, again, we've got sulfur kind of coming out of those rocks. We've got the more red rocks of the and then we can bring in some. Now I want some dark gray in there. That was almost too much light gray. There we go. Okay. All right, that's giving it some, I think, some life to it. I'm going to go into a dark right along the edge of where this waterfall is. But anyhow, I think we're getting to see, you get the light up in here. And let's put a little touch there. And a little touch there. Okay, I like that. Now maybe I'm going to get a little bold here and just take a streak of, there we go. So I just took a little bit of straight cadmium yellow medium just to give a bright streak into that. Does it changes the look, gives it some vibrancy, gives it some color flow without overpowering it, because just a little bit. It adds, but it doesn't overpower. I'm not looking at, again, my reference any longer. The reference was holding me back. The reference I got this block in, and that's really what I needed is all from it. And now I can work and enjoy the process, rather than trying to make my mountain look the way the photo looked, and that was holding me back from being creative. So sometimes when you get to this point, when you get your block in all done, you've got some of the colors laid out like I had, and you're just feeling like, man, I don't know if this is working or not. Get rid of whatever reference materials you're using, because I'm not looking again to duplicate nature. I'm looking to compose in a way. See, that's I. It again. It is the texture of the paint that's making these things work, because that the texture, the way the paint's going down, it gives you the illusion of confidence in the artist. Is what it's doing. That the artist has confidence. That's why they're bold with their paints. I added some more contour there just by that. Again, we're down the shadows here, so I can come in with a really dark now. Tap that in a few places. And don't want to get too overexcited with that. Doesn't hurt to have it there. I'll bring in a little lighter in some places as if the sun is striking through. A little darker, a little bit of a gray. There's the sun hitting that spot. I'm going to tuck that in there. And I'm going to get into some of that yellow, bring out some of that. I'm going to go in first off, though, with some brighter yellow. That is straight cadmium yellow light. If you're going to do a bad painting, do it boldly. Be bold in your painting. A bold painting means something when people look at it. And so, like I said, if you think it's going to be bad, then do it bold, because your confidence will come through in the boldness. If you learn nothing else from me, go bold when in doubt. So you don't mind that boldness because the painting is bold. The painting is bold. It looks bold because of the thicker paint that's going on there. So now I got to pull in some greens. So maybe I'll start with this light green and tap it in here a few places and see what I think. Yeah, I like it. See, it's kind of knocking down that really bright green that's up there and making it a little softer. All right, now I can come in with, I'm going to go in with maybe a little darker green now. Put that in the edges, pop a little bit of that up here and here along there. All right, now I'm going to go with that really crazy green and put it in there. See that crazy green? It's not a bad green unless you rely on it too much, but it can add some shadow to your green. That's what you want it to do, is add shadow to your green. Now I can come out with a little darker green here, or excuse me, a little lighter, lighten that green up, and boom. Oh, here's one of those cross colors. You see what this is doing now to my painting? It's either making it horrible or it's making it better. But one thing is it's making it bold. And the effect is not up close. When you're looking up close, you're seeing a lot of small, tiny brush marks, brush strokes. You're seeing lots of paint. But then I step away and I get the effect I'm after. And one of the things you do as you're painting, see, I already like the effect from back here. Maybe I see I'm stepping back. I need to bring in a couple of these colors here up into here. But It and I'm going to cut right through these rocks, or excuse me, through this grass. And tap it up in there. Now come in and get a couple of strokes of the darker one. Right there. All right. That cut that. Yeah, see that cut that green. So I don't have a big string of green in there. And also began to tie things together. So anyway, like I said earlier, you can do bad paintings, and sometimes you can't help it. But one thing you can always help, you can always do it bold, because somebody will like it. Okay. All right. See, I'm liking that. I'm gonna go. Okay, maybe too much of that, but go in there, tap in some of that color there. Yeah. See, I like that. I like that. I don't know why, but I do. Here's some kind of whitish, greenish color I can put in there for green highlights. I'll go with a make your strokes tell a story. The only bad stroke is the one you buried. So don't bury a good stroke. See, I like that color. I'm not going to have very much of it, but I can bring it in up here more. All right. I think I want some gray, so I don't want to get too... Yeah. Now I'm going to bring in some lighter gray. And I can walk this gray around like that. See, now that color kind of modeled together, but it gives me a, maybe just here, maybe a string of gray down along there. Make it look like the rocks. The rock face is moving along this trail. Come in now with some highlight where that joins. Come in with this darker grayish, darker rock color I'm using over here, like that's really in the deep shadow. And boom. All right. Now let's bring in some green, dark green, as I come out of the shadow. And I'm going to add some there. And come in now with a lighter green. Not too light. And now this low chroma green. I don't know. I got to come in with, I get some light green in there now. Gotta go light. Gotta go light now. It's nice dark richness there. See, I don't mind the color mixes on my brush either. That's not a big deal. That's actually good. And now I can throw in a bigger stroke somewhere now. See that bigger stroke there? Nothing wrong with that stroke at all. In fact, I can come over here. I see a spot where I can, there, just adds a little something different. So I've got all these small strokes, but and they're kind of flowing down the ridge. And then I put a nice long one in there like that. That's good. Now I can come in with a really light green, and I can go right in here and there. Now you don't mind the larger strokes because it says something without disturbing your painting. You see, as I settle in more and more, uh, I want a little bit of that. Huh. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to get into some heavier amounts of like that. I want to kind of, I want a darker. Maybe this will work. Uh-huh. Now I come in with a little darker of this. Okay. Again, this whole thing is built on smaller, very controlled strokes that tell a story about this mountain. That's rugged. It's rough. It's weather beaten. It's been through a lot. Thousands of years of that waterfall cutting through it. You see, I'm shifting my color palette here on these rocks to this burnt sienna mixtures. Now I can contour those rocks around. I can still bring in some of the darker, but not too dark. Come back up, go with it. I'm going to pick a really light piece up of my burnt sienna to show some contrast to that dark, but a really light streak there. I'm going to change something up here. I want this one to come in strong light, and then I'm going to come in with this one dark. All right, come out this like that. Now I'll come in with this in there. And you're thinking, why? Well, for one thing, I'm creating the illusion of this cliff falling this way, but I'm going to come in with an edge here. And then see, now I create these sideways strokes, create the illusion that there's a shelf or something different happening there. It's not dropping as rapidly, just like this is dropping more gently as you look at that one. The knees here, it gives you the feel. As you go further around, they're going to get, when you look at that kind of a round face of a mountain, what's right in front of you looks sheer and straight up, but it could be very slanted. But what looks on the side looks, well, that doesn't look so bad, but it may be that this slope is the same as that slope, but you can't see it for perspective of where you're standing. And so that's the kind of the illusion I want to create, is that this is sheer, but then we have these other structures in here. Okay, now let's come in with that look. See, we got this falling look here. Now we have this terrain look that's coming in differently. So now I want to come in here with look. Now I can get away with, like I said, now I can get away with some longer strokes now because I've shortened all these in here. Now I'm getting these longer strokes, which tell a different story. I'm still going to cut that one up though. I don't like it. But yeah, man, what have I done? Be careful you don't want to overthin your paint when you're in the process of this. It can mess up your. All right, see, again, falling. straight down. Now we're getting this look of different shapes coming off of that mountain. Now following again. All right. All right, some dark gray in here to break up that purplish rock. Okay, I'm going to step back and look at my work and see how it looks from far away. Okay, a very abstract looking mountain, but that's what I'm after. Um, because again, large strokes, I could get this done faster, and maybe I'll come back in with some long strokes because I can maybe go here with a longer one and not hurt it at all. We'll see. Feel like I hurt it, but now I come in with another stroke on top of it, and it feels better. Again, now these long strokes are creating speed as it comes down the mountain. So I think that's good. I think as I start small strokes and I come down the mountain, and I think it adds a flavor to it somehow. All right, I'm gonna go bold with a little streak of and shove this in here, shove that in there. Okay. Okay. Now let's go up and we need to get some more green going down here. All right. Oh, some of this green, yeah. Tuck that in there. Very light green. Where can I put a light green? Right up there. Cut through that, put a light green in there. Get some dark green. Put maybe a gray hill rock right there. Okay. Now with some stone, look the other way. Okay. Okay. Now got this other green in here. Now I'm going to come in with a nice green blob there. Okay. All right. I think I like it. Let me do something like that. All right. Okay. I can come in with some more green there. Knock down that dark. Move some over there. Move some over there. Crazy. Paint bold or go home. Okay. I'm going to bring in another touch of ivory black just right there as everything plummets from the top into the ivory black, giving a very deep look to it. Now I'm coming in here with some burnt sienna right out of the tube. It's a nice dark color. I think I can come in. Let's try this too. Come in with some blue, ultramarine blue, right out of the tube, and um, uh, So it adds, I think I'm going to break that up a little bit with some ultramarine blue right out of the tube. Maybe on here, on there, along there, along there. Okay. Yeah, that ultramarine blue right into it, I think was good. And then ivory black right down there in the bottom of that valley, also very good. And we'll bring some darkness in there. Now I can come down this other side with some dark purple I've been using. Tuck it right in there. Come in with some ultramarine blue right on the end of that. Tack it in there. Tack it up there. Now tied it across the. Now that I think adds. I think that's cool. Now let's see if I can go directly with some ultramarine blue here and here. Yeah. All right. I do like the way that turned out. Let's get some of that color though. There we go. A wayward streak of yellow for everyone to ask why. For everyone to notice and say why. Why is that there? The question from the painting. Why is that there? It's because the artist said so. All right. Let's see. What about that? Do I like that? Let me go in with, I don't know, something like this to break that up. Hey, I just put in 3 straight lines. That was brilliant. Yeah, that was brilliant. There we go. Now I don't have 3 straight lines because I cut 1 in half with that little smidgen of color, which worked. All right, I think, no, I'm going to leave this. I'm not going to overemphasize this edge anymore because the water is definitely going to cover, overspray is going to hit that edge. Now I'm going to go back to working on, I kind of think I'm okay up here. I'm going to work on this slope, bring these slopes together, and see how I do on that. I'll bring in a little bit of gray. I can get away with, this is a lot of, see, that was, I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. I like that better. Let's bring in this burnt sienna light with that gray mixed in with it. Kind of gives the, picked up some of that blue. Go get a straight piece of burnt sienna. All right. Now let's tuck this in here. Break that up just a little. Like that. Okay. I kind of like breaking that up. I'm going to come out here with a very light. This is almost the end of my, get some cadmium yellow medium and some cadmium yellow light. And now some dappled white to soften it up a little. Now come into some deeper, richer colors there. All right, coming back into some normal range of colors. And here we go. Here we go. Okay. I want a nice streak of light paint on that to give that illusion of a slope. And I'll come in with darker. You've got to time. Okay, now let's go in here with some richer, deeper colors. Now, get this really dark purplish color. I'll put in, here we go. Now, I don't like what I'm getting at here. All right, come in with, let's see. Darker gray here. All right. All right, a little bit of sulfur in there. And make some, I'm going to come in with a little bit cadmium yellow right down in there to throw off things. All right, now, okay, here we go. All right. Okay, so you can see here the direction of my strokes have guided you down the mountain, where every stroke was part of the composition to bring you down the mountain to this point where the waterfall hits. Now I'm going to use some lighter colors in here, and then all my trees are going to do the same thing. It's all about everything's going to, my strokes, my brush marks, everything's going to bring me into that point. Now, would I do every painting this way? No, I'm not telling you to do every painting this way at all. I'm just saying this is I decided this is what I needed to do to make this composition work. And, you know, I'm sure somebody else would have other ideas of how to make it work, but this is what I wanted to do. And I'm bringing in some greens as if there's some very light moss maybe on the ground coming down the slope. I'm not going to overdo the greens. Now I'm going to bring in some darker, tap in some darkerness just to offset it without getting overpowered. touch in some cadmium. Excuse me. See how I just small strokes to bring me in, bring me home, bring me home. Now, take a risk with this one. I like it. That was straight cadmium yellow on my brush. Does two things: gives me the illusion of light, and also maybe sends the message that this sulfur that's on the mountain could be coming down as well. So if you've ever been up in Idaho, we do have some hot springs, and they're always sulfury, and you get that yellow tint around those sulfury hot. Maybe not quite that, but some places it would be that brilliant. Maybe not a patch that large or that large, but yeah, it's not completely unusual. And I'm going to break this up with, and break this one up too. That's it. That's it. I don't want to. We just don't want that big blob to be quite so large there. And I can maybe come in. Let's see, on the edge of this. Okay. We're going to break that up a little. All right, so now the hill's coming right down into there. A little darker back in here still. All right. Got some of this purpley color. And I'm going to come in with ultramarine blue right at the bottom to tuck into the water. Get those final glows of deep, dark color. All right. Okay. I'm going to work on this now. Pretty soon I'll have almost all the rocks into here done. I can use a little more looseness here because I'm getting further away from my focal point, so I don't have to be quite as even precise. My colors can get a little more muted maybe, and slope can be I like the color in here though, and this is kind of uh, a cliff here, and it's got some of that blue in it, which I don't mind picking up some of that blue. Now I come back in here and go a little darker in there as well. Okay. Now I'll come in with some of this. All right, I can break that up now with a little bit of the green striking through, because we're up where the trees meet. So if I get a little of this faint green coming in over the top, it can actually be good. Make a good transition so I don't have to go firm. I don't want to make a solid transition. All right. Okay, so let's get some. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I need some white. I need some titanium white to bring into my color palette here. I need something lighter. With my burnt sienna. Okay. All right. Now let's see some cadmium. yellow with some of that. All right. Let's see what this color does to this. All right, I'm gonna save some of that. Maybe tap in a little bit of that color over here. Yeah, kind of deaden out some of that a little bit. Yeah. Uh, Deadens that out just a little bit, adds more flavor to the mix, really. And I can also come up in here with that. All right, I gotta slow down here a minute. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Kind of gone quiet here, but I've been kind of working on the same thing all the time, haven't I? There we go. Break that up a little bit. Break that up a little bit. I want a little piece of dark in that. Right in there. Now I can bring some more of that in there. Get some of that cadmium medium. And see what I can do with that. No, I'm not liking that color. Not the color I'm after. Okay. I'm gonna remix some. Running out of one of my grays over here, and so let's get that back together. Okay, gotta put some media in there. I like to use linseed oil, either that or paint thinner. When I like to keep it simple. Keep it simple. Okay. Now it looks like it's all coming together here. Maybe a touch of light up here, a touch of light there. And touch of light on those. Bring that dark up I picked up in there. Okay. Here we go. Now I've been using that's 3/16 inch filbert. That's what I've been using for most. Again, this is a small You know, it's small. It's like 8 by 10. So, you know, again, I was using larger brushes and I just wasn't getting, sending the message I want. All right, this has been a pretty long video. We're almost an hour, 55 minutes or so. So I think we're going to call it quits on this video and we'll pick it up in part 2. This is the Big Toad and I am out.